What's going on, family? Welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews, and today we're going to be discussing Bullet Train. Yeah, Bullet Train from Brad Pitt, and this movie just came out, and this movie was high octane. I had so much fun watching this film. Some of the most entertaining exposition I've seen in a while in a movie, and man, this was a thrill ride from start to finish. Sometimes it can feel a little convoluted, but overall, that's not even a complaint. That's just a nitpick. If I was to give the movie a negative, but this movie gets no negatives. It's rare seeing Brad Pitt in a movie like this, but what I understand, the director, David Leitch, directed Deadpool 2, is a good friend of his, from what I read. And this movie is an action movie through and through. It kind of reads like Smoking Aces. This is definitely an ensemble cast with a few different stories in it, which I liked. I liked a lot, actually. In which, interestingly enough, Brad Pitt's story as a man named the Ladybug in this film could be considered just as important as the others, despite being the star of the film. It's crazy. This movie has a lot of not only Easter eggs, high-profile appearances, and the movie that I just mentioned before, Smoking Aces, unlike that movie, the bullet train itself, the actual train, is a character which I liked a lot in the film. This movie it's a lot to unpack in this film. It's very explosive, man. This movie, you can tell, was very expensive to do. This is definitely a blockbuster. I think it's going to be one of the most action-driven movies of this summer. On top of that, you have these very cool celebrity cameos that prove that this director makes friends and has friends everywhere since he's been in Hollywood. The Japanese backdrop was amazing. It was beautiful. The cinematography in this film is second to none. And what was cool was, since a lot of anime fans are going to be very intrigued by this film, because they kind of made it with that kind of visual. This movie is very amazing to look at. But Hollywood, to me, needs more of this. We need more of this. And talking about, Asians in general, Haruyuki Sanada is a fucking star. Just, he played Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat, and he's a legend in the game, and he's in this film, and man, he's just amazing. He's one character of many that are amazing. For all my Spanish fans, you got Bad Bunny in this. He's also amazing. It's kind of funny. You have Joey King, Aaron Taylor Johnson. You got Brian Tyree Henry in this film. This movie is very thrilling, and it keeps you shocked. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen or ever imagined in a film, and it makes a lot of sense when you watch it. I always tell people to go into movies without expectations, and I definitely did that with this one, and it definitely helped because I actually had fun. I love that in this movie, he used his genius, and the movie was a never-ending plot twist. Many will say that this was a very high comedy and fun and action film, with some very unexpected cameos. But this movie, to me, was a masterpiece. After seeing the trailer, it got me. It doesn't give away a lot. And I knew it was going to be a fun movie, but I didn't imagine that, I would enjoy it the way I did. The success of this movie can be directly attributed to both the plot. It was written well, has a great story, and amazing acting all around. The entire cast did such a great job that I really can't single out one person for carrying this movie. It kind of reminded me of the Deadpool movies. Even though Ryan Reynolds is the main star, you had other performances in that film that stood out. And boy, you're gonna be very satisfied with this film. There were multiple points at which the story could have ended, and I think it would have ended very satisfying. But it kept getting better and better, believe it or not. And I still feel some kind of way about a certain character, passing. And I just don't want to get into spoilers. If we get into spoilers, forget about it. I don't want to fuck it up for you guys. But other than that, man, believe it or not, this movie was almost perfect. You know, just the way it was shot, the way the story was told. They were so impressive, man. Very creative. The style that David Leitch has is second to none. You know, he's one of those directors where he's behind a project, man, you just anticipate it so much, you know, especially since they were able to pretty much, looks like they shot this movie in pretty much one location, which was very interesting. Usually films like this with high, big budgets, you know, they go from place to place. And the way they even introduced the characters with their title cards, and I thought it was amazing the way they did that. You know, and what's cool is that this movie found a way to be very comedic, very funny, without being stupid or coming off as very silly. Or no, the movie comes off very realistic. Even though you can tell they're having a lot of fun, especially with the choreography during the film. They're having a good time. They're having a good time. You know, sometimes a silly movie like this could get out of hand, and it takes away from the rest of the story. But the majority of the humor to me was perfect. It was well mannered, well timed. I think the execution of the jokes hit consistently. You know, especially this movie definitely. Thor, Love and Thunder tried, I think, basically to do something like this, but they failed miserably. This movie is a perfect example of how you can mix comedy with action. You know, the plot twists, and there are many, are insane, and I couldn't keep my eyes off the screen. I didn't even get up to go to the bathroom while waiting to see what would happen next in the film. This movie definitely keeps you in your seat, man. And yes, Ryan Reynolds and Channing Tatum, sure, they contribute to this movie in many ways, and I'm gonna let you see that for yourself. You know, and I usually never give movies more than a 9.5, 10, but it's hard. It's very hard to come up with negatives. You know, I would say that this movie, like I said earlier, could be a little convoluted at times, but this movie with the tons of characters they have, and the way they take these different roles, even the murders in this movie are just thought out. And literally, I didn't realize how much fun I was gonna have. I swear to God. In the end, I had a great time. This movie was definitely one of those movies that you want to watch over again. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna head back to the theater, especially after doing a review. Who knows if I do a second one, because this movie was that great, you know. And sometimes, you know, turning on the subtitles to see the dialogue, because it was kind of hard to understand sometimes. But man, with one viewing, you'll be satisfied, and I could just imagine with the second viewing how overabundant your emotions are gonna get with a film like this. So, you know, the connections made in this film are crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you just definitely got to go check out this film. I gave this movie pretty much, man. It's up there. I give it a 9 out of 10. Possibly could give it a 10. Seriously, it's just that good. So definitely go check it out. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on my Discord. If you like this review, hit that like button. Hit that notification button. And please don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy what you see. Till the next one. Peace.